The thing that I love the most is how much shelter it gives us. Inside it's usually a reasonably bearable temperature, even if we haven't got heating and we don't have cooling. So yeah, I love that about it.
I actually like the feel of it, which you can't really explain. But if you've been in a straw bale house and spend a lot of time in them, they're very peaceful, and I actually like that. It's quiet and it's peaceful.
Yeah, I love that it's made of natural materials as well. That's probably one of the other things, and has a lot of timber, recycled timber through the house, and each piece seems to have its own unique characteristic when we've restored it and used it somewhere in the house. So yeah, that's another lovely thing. It's a straw bale with different shaped roofs, different shaped skilling roofs, rendered in a lime wash that has probably faded a little bit, I think, since we've done it. So it's quite a pale colour, but yeah, we actually really liked the colour, so it was nice. We didn't have to put anything in it. It's just achieved by the sand and the colour of the lime. So yeah, and it's got probably a lot of people in it.
Yeah, it's probably modern rustic, a bit eclectic. We've used a lot of recycled timber, as Vanessa mentioned, from lots of piers and some other just materials that I've had left over from other jobs, which has been good to be able to use those. Some pressed tin, some offcuts of carry beams from WA, and yeah, we've just tried to incorporate as much of that as we can into the house.
And we've got a big family, so when Brendan said it was peaceful before, it's only sometimes peaceful. we've got a lot of teenagers in the house. We've got 5 children and there's 4 still living at home, and they're all teenagers, the ones that are living at home. But yeah, I also like that it's got an open plan living space in the middle where there's still room for different activities. So quite often there'll be 3 or 4 of us all in that room doing different things, and it accommodates that well.
We did get an energy rating for the house, 7.3, which we were happy to get because houses with bigger spaces and different height ceilings, which we've got in a few of the rooms, doesn't always rate well, but the house, we knew the house would perform well anyway regarding the ratings. Insulation in the ceilings, we have a blanket on the roof itself, or just under the iron, which gives us 1.3, and then we have R4s and R4.5 bats on the actual ceiling to give us R6 in our ceiling, and the airspace gives us a really good insulation factor. And a couple of sections of the house where we didn't use straw in wet areas, we used 140mm wide studs, and we could fit an R3 bat into that as well, just to give us that little bit extra. We've got solar tubes for the hot water, and we also have a backup with the wood fire as well that we can use that for heat. So when we have it on in winter, it's heating our water as well. That heats the house.
Yeah, and that's because we're off the grid, so we can't easily use an electric boost. We do have one in place for when the generator's on, but yeah, we usually rely on the fire in winter. And the free heat that comes through the glass. So all of our living areas face north, and even a couple of our bedrooms, 3 of our bedrooms face north. So the house generally feels warm from the sun if it's a sunny day. And we've got exposed concrete floors, so they suck up that heat during the day and release it at night. So it's quite an even temperature inside because of the thermal mass of the slab. And we have quite good cross-flow ventilation as well. Most rooms have got a couple of windows at least that you can open to vent the heat. So that's helped us avoid having to have a cooler. And the temperature in there is probably, we think, bearable. It doesn't get above 29 even on many, several 45-degree days. We've had it stay there, so we think that's okay.
We have to catch all our water. We've got a 105,000 litre tank, which is still about half full at the moment, so we have to be pretty careful with the water. Trying to drum it into, again, the 4 teenage kids, that there's a limit on the showers and the hot water. And we've got a worm farm system septic as well. We've got 6.5 kilowatt system, and it runs through a 48 volt battery system with the inverter, and we've just recently upgraded our generator to a 8 kVA auto start generator, so works well. Timber double glazed. Yeah, a little bit of maintenance with the timber, but we think it's worth it. They kind of look the part with straw bar. Ceiling fans, just in the main room and in the bedroom, so we just have them on the low speed. They're quite efficient fans. They're quite a good shaped blade to get a lot of air movement out of them. So yeah, that's all we need. The waste, we still have bin pickup from the council, and they do recycle bins. So we recycle a lot of our paper and obviously soft plastics. Pretty much everything else we've got chickens and a compost heap. So anything that we can't, the chickens don't eat, goes in the compost. We've just started constructing our pizza shack, where I'll put a cob pizza oven in there, and we've used pretty much all recycled materials in that. All the beams we had left over from the house, got some old iron, and we used some pallets, pulled them apart and tried out some shoe sagi barn and burnt them ourselves. So yeah, having a bit of a go at that.
Put a lot of effort into our orchard, so we established that at the same time as the house, and that's where the chickens live. So we've got some fruit trees established, and we do get quite a bit of fruit off those in the summer now, which is wonderful. It gives us such good shelter from the elements.